Hey friends, and welcome to my channel. As you can see, we are in full autumn over here. Look at the pretty trees behind me, so pretty. I love fall. But we are not here to talk about fall. We are here to tell you our fundraiser story today, and I think that we need some music to celebrate. Yay! Bala, vámonos, vengan, dance with me.
Looks like we're gonna move it inside. Of course.
Yep. You can see. Inverno, ma perché devono tagliare le erbe in inverno?
Alright, so this is gonna be our new setting. Hopefully you can only hear the neighbor lady mowing in the background.
Less.
That would be nice.
I think you can still hear it.
Can you guys hear it? I don't know. We'll
I
see
think they
later.
will. It's right here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright, well, we gotta start. Basically, a year ago on Sharon's birthday, October 1st, we announced to the world that we were going to adopt. And at the time...
These expressions are killing me. You're doing a great job. Keep going.
Okay. Nothing.
At the time,
Thank you for that.
we had
At the time,
$400.
we only had... So Sharon interrupted me. So as I was saying, at the time, we only had $400 in our savings that were supposed to go towards an adoption. And
Yep.
that's all we had. There was nothing else. There was no big plan. It was we just announced it to the world. Is that good? And
That's great.
yeah, so immediately we started the home study process. We found an agency, American Adoptions, and just up front to get the home study fee, besides all the paperwork, was like $1,500. So we took care of that. That was the very first step that we took, and they told us that on average, their adoptions range between about $41,000 to $44,000, not counting the expenses that we would take on with our attorney and traveling for when the baby comes, and also time off work. So we figured that we had to raise about $50,000, all things considered. And this we like this agency because they gave a guarantee back that in case the adoption didn't go through, that they would reimburse the
money that we spent.
Yes. So or make it go towards another adoption.
So we set our goal to $50,000.
Our goal was $50,000.
Yep.
And
We had a bunch of questions and how in the world are we going to get to $50,000? We had no idea, but we trusted that God told us to go forward with the adoption, and so we faithfully said yes. All right.
And the very first thing that we actually did was Sharon. She started online jewelry. Not only online, it was more physical at first.
Yeah.
That she was making earrings.
Yes, I started making earrings. I signed up for Join the Journey retreat, and I signed up to be an attendee and also a vendor there. And that was the first step towards raising money for our adoption fundraiser, for adoption fund.
Yep.
And
so obviously that meant that we had to completely change our lifestyle.
yes.
it all starts obviously with budget cuts. We didn't go out. We weren't eating out. We had to change everything. All the not necessary things fell off our budget, and we started saving whatever we could. I started accepting any chance at overtime that I could at work, and we started doing a bunch of other, side jobs wherever we could get a few $100s. That we signed up for it, babysitting,
all kinds of things.
So basically, we looked at everything that we had saved by the end of December of last year, and it was just over $3,600, and that meant that we still had about $46,000 left to raise. And we wanted to be active by June of 2019. And that meant that we would have had to raise at least $7,700 a month from January to June. And that was something that we had never even been close to raising, especially considering that we had only raised $3,600 in about 3 months. October through December.
So we started with the puzzle fundraiser in January. We kind of wanted to have a main fundraiser each month, and we started with the puzzle fundraiser. We had so much fun. We created a puzzle, and people would buy each piece and sponsor each piece, and we would write their name behind it. And soon we're gonna have a video where we put together the puzzle, and it's gonna be awesome. And then I started making earrings and selling them. And in February, I went to the Join the Journey retreat where I sell a lot of earrings. And we did the Osborne book sale. Our cousin Tracy was so kind and generous to create this online fundraiser for us and to donate all the proceeds from the sale. But not only that, they matched, and it was one of the most generous donations that we have received.
Sharon was doing all the Just Between Friends sales, so getting rid of a lot of old clothes that we had, especially from fostering many kids of different ages. We have a lot of clothes that right now they're just taking up space, and so we decided let's get rid of some of this stuff. And we brought in what is it? Well,
almost $300.
Almost $300 from that event. And back in November, I remember the first snow that came, I decided to get myself a snow shovel, and I went out and just started knocking on doors and asked people if they wanted to help raise funds for an adoption by getting their driveway plowed. And I remember I did that all day and I made $200, and I was like, wow, well, if I had a snowblower, I could be making so much more money. And so I found a used snowblower, a nice one, and for a very good price. And every snow that came, I used all my personal time from work in order so I could go use my personal time. I wasn't skipping off work, but at the same time I was making about $500 every time that I went out and removing snow from people's driveways.
And God was so generous with snow this past winter, and we were so excited when it was a snowy day because it meant extra funds for our adoption. And then people just started donating by hearing our story, and that was so amazing to see how people would, just come around us and help us and support us by donating.
Also, we filled out so much paperwork. One of the big things about adopting is if you can get some agency or some organization to fund you. That is the quickest way to raise the amount of money that we need. So I would say, probably filled out dozens of stacks of paperwork for each grant that we were requesting, and out of all of them, only one actually helped, and they did a matching grant for $2,500. So that meant that for every dollar that was sent into them, they were going to match that donation up to $2,500. So
we did it. Our friends and family again, like they came around us again, and it was sent more than $2,500 to them, and we ended up getting more than $5,000, right?
About $5,600
Yes.
is what we got from that donation. But
Yes.
for the rest,
Summertime, we also did garage sales. And with my jewelry store, I went downtown and I did art walks during summertime also. So we got to the end of June and we had raised $25,000. At the beginning of the year, we had decided that by the end of June, we wanted to have $50,000. So we were at half of it, and it was pretty discouraging.
So basically, that's about the time that we had finished our matching grant donation, which came in, that we had just gotten over $30,000, all things considered. And that was about that time that we heard back from Zoes House, and out of the blue, because about a year prior to this, we had been entered into their waiting list to
start working with them.
start working with them, yes. So we immediately filled out the application and pre-application that they had, and we became live with Zoes House. But the interesting thing about Zoes House is that they do a lot of the fundraising on their own. They have like a yearly gala and stuff where they try to raise money for the adoptive families that are with them. And this basically means that their adoptions range between $15,000 and $30,000 max. And
here is the cool thing. When we realized that the most expensive adoption with Zoes House would cost $30,000, it was like a couple days after we had reached the $30,000. So in that moment, we realized that we were ready to adopt.
And we're done fundraising. So all in all, we raised. Here's our giant thermometer. As you can see, originally we were trying to raise $50,000.
But it's scratched. Woohoo!
Cross it out, and we got to $32,000 and some change. And we spent about $2,000, as I was saying before, for the home study and paperwork and stuff like that.
Yep.
So we are 100% covered for having an adoptive baby with Zoes House.
The cool thing is that when we were working so hard to fundraise, it was very hard because we had to be very focused to spend the money in the right way and save the rest of the money. And we had to work really hard on the different fundraisers. And while we were working so hard, we knew that no birth mother was seeing our profile, and it kind of felt like we were unseen, and we were working so hard for something that was not ready yet. Steven left me. Looking back, we realized that God was working for us and for our good, even in these months that we were fundraising and we were not an open family yet. And I just want to encourage you, if you're going through a hard time or through something and you don't understand what's going on and maybe you're questioning God, I just want you to know that He's working even when you cannot see it. I also want to thank every one of you that helped in any kind of way, and for donating, for supporting with prayer, for donating items to the garage sale, for helping me making earrings, for donating earrings, Mallory. And it was just beautiful to see how our community around us and even far away came together to support us through our adoption journey. So thank you guys so much. We love you, and stay tuned because we don't know what's gonna happen next. Come say hi. Bye, I mean.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Even when I don't see that you're working, even when I can't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop.
Looking back, now we can see that even if it when Guys!
Alright, I gotta go to work.
No.
See you guys.
When it seemed like nothing was happening, we okay, I got it.
He's got it.